Many people spend years walking past geese without realizing they are constantly making decisions about every person they see. What looks like a sudden attack is often the final step in a process that began long before the bird ever spread its wings. The strange part is that two people can walk through the exact same place only seconds apart and receive completely different reactions. One gets ignored while the other becomes the center of an angry chase that seems to come out of nowhere. If you have ever wondered why that happens, you are in the right place, because here on Global Wild Origins we love exploring the hidden stories behind everyday wildlife, and few birds are more misunderstood than geese. At first glance, a goose attack can seem random. One person walks peacefully across a park while another suddenly finds themselves backing away from a hissing bird with outstretched wings. Researchers who study waterfowl have documented that geese are not usually acting without purpose. They are constantly observing their surroundings and assessing what they believe might be a threat. To a goose, the world is not divided into friends and enemies. It is divided into things that seem safe and things that seem uncertain. One of the biggest factors is simple location. During nesting season, geese become extremely protective of the area around their eggs and young. Scientists have observed that geese often create invisible boundaries around nests. When a person crosses that boundary, the bird may react aggressively. In practical terms, this means that the goose is not necessarily angry at you personally. You may simply be standing in a spot that feels dangerous from the bird's perspective. Many people have experienced this without realizing it. You walk across a grassy area that seemed perfectly normal, and suddenly a goose starts marching toward you. The nest may have been hidden nearby the entire time. Another important detail is the way people move. Studies of animal behavior have shown that direct approaches are often interpreted as threatening by wildlife. Geese pay close attention to body language. A person walking straight toward them while making eye contact can appear much more intimidating than someone passing at an angle. This explains a familiar scene many people have witnessed. You are strolling through a park and glance over at a goose. The bird immediately becomes alert. Meanwhile, another person nearby walks past without even noticing the bird and receives no reaction at all. The difference may be as simple as direction and attention. Past experiences also matter. Researchers have documented that many birds can remember interactions with humans. Geese are more intelligent than people often assume. If a goose has previously been chased, harassed, or frightened by people in a particular area, it may become more cautious and defensive. In practical terms, this means that the bird is carrying a memory into future encounters. Imagine a neighborhood pond where children sometimes run toward the birds. Weeks later, the geese may react more strongly even to people who have done nothing wrong. To the goose, the risk feels familiar. There is also the matter of appearance. This may sound surprising, but scientists have found evidence that some birds can distinguish between different human faces and features. Geese notice details. They observe height, posture, clothing, and movement patterns. They are not judging fashion choices, but they are gathering information. This helps explain why one family member might be ignored while another gets a warning hiss. Many viewers will recognize the experience of walking with friends when a goose seems unusually focused on one particular person. The bird may simply be responding to characteristics that stand out in its environment. The season of the year changes everything. During periods when geese are raising goslings, their behavior often becomes far more protective. Researchers consistently observe higher levels of defensive behavior when young birds are present. For someone watching wildlife in their yard, this means that reactions can change dramatically from one month to the next. A goose that seemed calm in winter may become much more assertive in spring. Think about those moments when you spot a line of fluffy goslings crossing a path. The adults nearby are paying attention to every movement around them. Their priority is not being friendly. Their priority is keeping those young birds safe. Sometimes what people interpret as aggression is actually communication. Scientists who study goose behavior have documented a sequence of warning signals that often comes before physical contact. The bird may stretch its neck, hiss, lower its head, or spread its wings. These actions are messages. In practical terms, they are opportunities. The goose is often saying that it wants more space. Many people recognize this scene instantly. You are near a pond and notice a goose standing taller than usual while staring in your direction. That moment is often the bird's way of asking for distance before things escalate. There is another factor that surprises many observers. Confidence matters. Animals often respond differently depending on how another creature behaves. A person who suddenly runs may trigger pursuit. Researchers have observed similar patterns in many territorial species. When someone panics and bolts away, the movement can intensify the interaction. This is why a goose may seem determined to chase one person while completely ignoring someone else who calmly continues walking. Many viewers have probably laughed after seeing a friend sprint across a lawn while a goose follows close behind. From the bird's perspective, the situation may have become more stimulating because of the sudden movement. The environment itself plays a role as well. Geese living in busy urban parks become accustomed to constant human presence. Researchers call this habituation, which simply means getting used to something over time. Birds that regularly see people may react differently from birds living in quieter areas. For anyone watching wildlife, this is a reminder that behavior is shaped by experience. A goose near a crowded lakeside path may barely glance at passing walkers, while a goose in a more secluded location may become alert much faster. When all these pieces come together, the mystery begins to disappear. The goose is not flipping a coin to decide who gets chased. It is processing information. It notices distance, movement, season, location, memories, and the presence of young birds. What feels random to us often follows a pattern that makes perfect sense from the animal's point of view. The next time you see a goose standing quietly near a pond, remember that there is far more happening behind those watchful eyes than most people realize. The bird is reading the world around it every second. It is weighing risks, making decisions, and protecting what matters most to it. Once you understand that, the angry hiss and dramatic wing spread begin to look less like hostility and more like a message written in a language we rarely stop to notice, and perhaps that is the hidden truth we miss every day. The creatures sharing our parks, neighborhoods, and waterways are paying much closer attention than we think. If this story changed the way you look at geese the next time you step outside, I would love for you to stay with us by subscribing to the channel. And if you have ever been chased, ignored, or unexpectedly greeted by a goose, leave a comment and tell us what happened. The next walk past a pond may feel a little different now, because you will know that somewhere nearby a goose is quietly deciding exactly who deserves its attention and who can simply pass by unnoticed.